Today I'm going to be going over how I make my long 1 hour chill mix into a shorter song. So it looks like this, the whole song itself. Sounds like this. Something that I wanted to point out that's really exciting about this specific mix is the granulator. And so under instruments up here, if you go to the granulator 3, you can actually pull it in as an instrument and you could drop a sample in here and it's super cool to kind of mess around with it. But that's what's going on basically throughout the whole song. There's little gaps in between. Let's see. Yeah, it's mostly going on for like I would say like 50% of the song with the granulator synthesis. But yeah, that's super cool. Definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, so we're gonna be turning this into a chill 3.5 minute song. So I'm going to make sure that I have my chord progression up here, which sounds like this. So pretty basic chord progressions, just two chords. But I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this over to the end of the track. I'm going to zoom in and just move it over. So our starting place will be right here. So on top of that chord progression, I have quite a few stuff. I have this like ghostly chords sample that I put some effects on it. I put a compressor on it. Most of my stuff has compression on it. And then a filter delay. I always take the left and right and I just leave left, right, like centered. And then I have some reverb. I always recommend hybrid reverb. That's my favorite type of reverb. And then you can just mess around with like the different textures and stuff, which is really cool. I like dark hall. Anything like dark and mysterious is kind of my vibe. So yeah, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna move it over to the end here because I want an intro, but I don't want it to be super slow because we only have 3 minutes. Turn this whole mix into 3 minutes. Yeah, because those chords are long. Those chords each are like 20 seconds. So, what I'm gonna do is actually. I think I'm just gonna bring in a riser right away and drop it right here. So like this can go. And then my riser is this one. And then I also have like a drop, like a riser and then a drop. So I'm going to place that there and then that there. So then I might, for this intro, I might cut it even shorter. I might take this out and actually just move all this. just because it's a long chord and long chord progression. I wanted to draw it out, especially for this chill mix, because I wanted it to be like super like sensual or long chords and like very like drawn out effects and stuff like that. So, but for the short mix, we don't want that. We want it to be, we kind of want to get to the point quicker. So let's get to the point. Okay, so we dropped, and then I'm just gonna drop right into the beat. So for this one, we have the bass, which I use Serum for. Serum's pretty awesome. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. If not, check it out. It's a synth, and you can manipulate however you want, you know, your synth sound to sound like. So in this case, I just have a very like low bass sound, and then I put a compressor and then a wide stereo on it. So I'm definitely gonna move that over for the drop. And then we have these chords that I put in. This is just like a little melody thing. And then we have another sample. For my samples, I like to cut them all up and put a bunch of effects on it. Yeah. So this one is really cool. So I like chopped it up, and then I put a hybrid reverb on it, and then I EQ'd some of it, and then I put a filter delay over it, and it sounds so cool. So cool. I think for the chill mix, I might actually crank that volume up a little bit on that one. And then we also have this is a drum sample that I threw in here, and then the granulator synthesizer at the bottom. So I'm going to just pull in a little tiny bit. Well, I like this sample so much. I'm gonna see what it sounds like with all of it in there. I'm gonna go back. Okay, so then we'll need to extend the chord progression and extend this Wandering Spirits sample as well. So for that, I'm actually just going to take the full thing, because if I start doing this, then it's going to start duplicating, and I want to make sure when the beat drops that I have the full sample like ready to go. And technically for the chord progression, I'd want that too, but it's a really simple chord progression, so I don't think it really matters that much. It's just 2 chords. And then I'm going to pull in the granulator. So you can see down here on the left, this is where I added that sample, and then I transposed it up 5 cents, and then I made sure it was on cloud, so it kind of just like loops like sparingly, like very like long and drawn out. Like I said, I wanted that chill mix to be, so I'm going to take that as well and bring it over here. And then, like I said before, I think I want to turn this like this sample up a little bit. Let's see, let's put a glue compressor on it. turned it up a little bit. I put the threshold down, and then I turned up the makeup to turn up the volume instead of just like cranking up the volume itself, like the attenuator, like the volume knob or the decibels. I just took up like the makeup gain on the glue compressor, which is another way you can turn up the volume on things like this. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty dang cool. Let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to add. So that's like one section of the chill mix, and then over here is like a whole other mix. So I used Serum and I made another type of chord progression. Yep. And this goes really well with the other thing that I made. It's like the little melody thing. Yeah, so very like dark and mysterious, kind of like my vibe, I guess. Yeah, and then this sample I also chopped up, and I actually, that one's cool. But this one I actually chopped it up and then I put an echo on it instead of a delay on it. So it just like rings out more, and I mean, you can kind of visualize the effect down here because there's like a bunch of little rings where it just kind of fizzles out instead of like the delay will just like, it'll fizzle out too, but it's like a different type of effect with echo. Yeah. So I have echo on that one. So I'm going to just pull in like a bar of this. And then down here, like we have like the beat I made with it. So I'm just gonna grab like the full bar of all that. And bring it over here. Yeah, see, this is why generally for like an intro you want the full chord progression so you're not playing catch up kind of, because now I have two of the same chords in a row. So yeah, I'm just gonna do kind of what I mentioned before, which would be taking that intro piece and just cutting out the first part of it. So now it's like in order, basically. And then because we're dropping into a different part of the song, I'm going to put that riser in here. And there should be technically a break in between here. So I'm actually going to put a break in here. Because we're already at a minute or something like that. So I'm just gonna add a little break in here. And then for that, I'm going to it looks like for the other breaks that I've done was just basically the chord progression, that melody, the bass, and then that sample. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna move this out of the way and then put that here, and then obviously we don't want it to be that long, so we're just break. And then I'm gonna add something else to this break, but for now I'm just gonna bring in that section that I wanted first, just to get it there. Okay, so for this break, why don't we add, the granulator? Yeah, because it's basically going through the whole thing. Let's just see what this sounds like. And then when I bring that first part of the beat back, I'm actually gonna add in that little section, this section here, which is like, it's a sample that I just chopped up and added a ton of stuff to. Like I added this like early reflections comb space 3 reverb, and then delay, and then I EQ'd it a bunch. So yeah, I'm just gonna bring that in when we bring in the next part of the song. In the beginning, I kind of want to see what this sounds like if I add some of these effects down here to the beginning. Since it's a short mix, might as well add all the interesting stuff right away. Make sure I'm gonna put the granulator through the whole song. It's only 4 minutes, so and then for an outro, I'm going to just copy this small section and then the volume to just kind of go out. I'm gonna take the chords that I made. I'm gonna take them out too because it kind of gives it like that, like it's rising again, and I want it to sound like it's like collapsing. And then I'm gonna turn automation on, track volume, and slowly turn the volume down on each of these components. Yeah, those three. Yeah. So that is about 4 minutes. Just about 4 minutes out of an hour long chill mix. So after that, I'm just gonna export it, and I made this really cool video, and I'm so excited to add it to the video. It's just a short video that I made. So before exporting, make sure you're Command L looping, saving Command S, and then exporting it from there so that you're not exporting the whole 1 hour long mix, just that short section that we made out of the whole mix. And I've been encoding MP3s with it because where I work, there's a radio station, and my friend works in the radio station, and she sometimes has me put my music on the radio, which is really cool. But she needs MP3 for that. So yeah, export, and we're gonna do. So this one, I haven't actually named it yet. But the video is really cool. It's like I have my speakers behind me, like all my live audio speakers, and then they're kind of like dripping like purple electronic goop, which I think is so cool. But yeah, so for now I'll just call it short mix and save.